Thanks to the Jean Cleary Act, for the past 26 years, any school receiving federal funding is required to disclose any information about crime on their campus. This data needs to be made publicly accessible and released annually. However, these reported numbers are inconsistent with the sexual assault prevalence statistics. Did you catch that 1 in 5 females are being sexually assaulted while on a college campus? Colleges with upwards of 20,000 females should have around 1,000 rape reports alone. So seeing sexual offense numbers below 5 is a huge red flag. There's a big problem here. My mother was appalled when I shared these statistics with her. Prospective students and their parents would be hesitant to go to any place if they knew there was a 1 in 5 chance that they would be victim of any other crime. So I recognize that colleges have an incentive to hide these numbers and reduce reporting to create the illusion that their campus is safe. But by doing so, they're actually making their school a much more dangerous place to be. So this video is for Title IX coordinators, or the office responsible for handling sexual assault reports on your campus. Here are a few ways for you to increase sexual assault reporting. Because there are a lot of sexual assault victims that are not talking to you about it, and therefore they are not receiving the resources and support that they may need. I had the pleasure of interviewing Oriana Jimenez, Rollins College's Title IX coordinator. She speaks to the problems of schools having low reporting numbers.
You know, they have a chilling climate for reporting, or they have no system for reporting whatsoever. When you see these schools who have high numbers, that just means that they have a warmer climate for reporting. Again, that's my entire goal through this department. Create a warm climate for reporting. Let people know that if this happens to you, you'll be believed, you'll be supported, you'll be taken care of, and there's a process in place that you can trust. And if we do that, people will come forward. If we're not doing that, if we're out of compliance in one of our processes, I should be able to, kind of look up from the 10,000 foot level and say, okay, wait, that's no longer in compliance under the law. We have to change this process or this system or the way that we're doing this or calculating our numbers as it relates to these kinds of issues so that we can stay in compliance.
College students are an especially vulnerable population to sexual assault. Oriana lists a few reasons of why this may be the case, in addition to our universal desire to belong.
And it usually happens because students are experiencing a high degree of freedom for the first time. They may be experimenting with drugs or alcohol for the first time. They don't know how these substances affect their bodies.
The following is a list of why sexual assault survivors are not reporting. Please take note of how many of them are due to feared social consequences. Fear of retaliation from the offender, fear of being blamed, doesn't know what resources are available, the resources are not easily accessible, fear of peer harassment, fear of family and friends finding out, uncertain if a crime occurred or was serious enough, doesn't want to re-experience the trauma, doesn't want or need help, fear of mistreatment by officials, fear of gossip about the incident, a poor reporting experience in the past, or fear of negative consequences for either themselves or for the offender. One study showed that only 1% of colleges in Ohio provided a definition of what constituted as a sexual offense. To help victims of sexual assault be certain a crime occurred, definitions of sexual misconduct should be posted online. Additionally, these should be posted in the college's policies, code of conduct, school handbook, and printed on brochures and posters posted all around campus. This information should let victims know it is serious enough to report, even if a weapon was not used. Additionally, a clear definition of consent and what is not consent is critical. High schools are only teaching information about abstinence, so delivering this information to college freshmen is absolutely necessary. The next barrier to reporting is just not knowing what to do. Informing students of the resources available to them is done effectively with campus tabling and posters around campus. There is empirical evidence for the influence of posters on both perceived social norms and, in one study's case, drinking behaviors. The placement of posters is strategic. The bathroom is a great location because it provides a safe place for victims to read the information and enter a phone number in their cell phone without the fear of a peer noticing. The models should be real college students. People have an increased preference and intention to act when they relate with the advertisement. It's called self-concept congruency. Since novel stimuli elicit preference and attention, each stall should have a different poster, and they should be rotated every semester. The bottom of every poster should contain contact information and at least one resource that is available 24/7. Finally, posters should also contain messages to friends of victims. Although up to 95% of sexual assaults are not reported to authorities, Brubaker found that 2/3 of victims told a friend. Another study showed women were most likely to report when encouraged to do so by friends or family. Another barrier is victims do not want to re-experience their trauma. Reporting offices will have a warmer climate if there is one investigator who collects all the data, evidence, and relays that information to other members of a sexual assault response team. Amar et al. Explains how this interdisciplinary team needs to meet the medical, legal, psychological, and safety needs of its victims. Fieldman, Summers, and Answorth found that women most commonly identified their perception of lack of social support as their reason for not reporting. In addition to publishing available resources and what the reporting process looks like, a warm and supportive Title IX office will increase reporting. To create a trusted environment, Title IX coordinators should make a point to make their faces known during freshman orientation, giving information about the resources and who they are.
I do need to be in a relationship with these students, with my community. They need to see me. So I make it a point to, go to events and functions on campus, accept speaking engagements and opportunities that students invite me to, go to SGA and tell them about the results of the campus climate survey, and to any other student organization that wants to hear that information. I go to the faculty meetings and talk to them about what's going on and what are the new developments and requirements under Title IX and what are the campus climate survey results. I've heard it referred to as social suicide. When you think about the social piece, that includes a lot of things. So they don't necessarily want to cause harm to that person, but they also fear retaliation and harm directed at themselves, particularly fraternities and sororities. They fear being ousted from their organizations and being not believed by their friends and by other people that they're in social circles and in relationship with, which plays to the whole victim blaming and victim shaming type of mentality and issue that exists within society as a whole.
Victim blaming is rooted in our belief in a just world, where everyone gets what they deserve. Solorzano explains how this mindset gives us, the third party, a sense of safety since the victim behaved in a way to prompt the attack. Survivors do not deserve to be raped, even if they were drinking, flirting, wearing scandalous clothes, didn't fight back, have been previously sexually active, or knew the offender. If Title IX offices actively debunked these rape myths, they will create a warmer reporting climate. A solution for the victim's fear of negative social consequences is to allow them confidentiality, hold a closed hearing, and/or provide them with their needed resources without having them press charges or provide a name. A bandwagon effect is the spread of ideas or behaviors due to the social pressure of others adopting them. Peer educators can elicit a bandwagon effect by reporting past experiences and encouraging or accompanying younger students to report also. This maintains their social identity by shifting from a feared outgroup to an in-group. Also, a positive reporting experience will have a ripple effect on other potential victims. Finally, an option to report a sexual assault online will increase reports. One app, Callisto timestamps the assault and sends an electronic report to the Title IX coordinator only if the perpetrator has been reported by another student.
I don't just believe, I know that there are people walking around on our campus who have perpetrated rape or sexual assault or sexual harassment or some other type of misconduct. But because it's only been reported one time, the survivor didn't want us to take action. I kind of have to just wait until a second survivor potentially walks in and says that the same person harmed them. About 6.4% of men will offend. And the majority within that 6.4%, that small number, are repeat offenders, assaulting sometimes as many as 7 people per year.
All things considered, you can increase sexual assault reporting by defining offenses and posting available resources online and around campus. The bathroom is a great place for these posters. As a Title IX coordinator, you can create a warm reporting climate by being actively involved on your campus, including giving a freshman orientation presentation. Reduce the fear of negative social consequences by providing options throughout the reporting process and have peer educators establish reporting as a social norm. Also, debunk victim-blaming myths. Finally, informing students of repeat offender statistics and having an electronic reporting platform will increase sexual assault reporting on your college campus.
Any way that one person can help another person is key, is key.